Afternoon everybody, Clint Endersby from Pro Stock with our monthly report for July. Very consistent sort of month this one. We've numbers through the sale yards have been very consistent, and cattle prices right through the month have stayed pretty much the same as well. So into the market we've sort of been sitting around that 350 to 380 cattle a week. The last one, which we've only just finished here, there's 510 for the last sale, but also a bit of a pick up there with our first load of northern cattle for the year, which just threw another 100 cattle on top of our usual sort of that 380 to 400-ish. So price-wise, very consistent, very similar to probably the end of last month as well. The bulls have been consistently somewhere $4 to $4.30, and the very best of them out to $4.40 if you get some really nice yielding sort of bulls. The numbers of bulls have tapered away. Except for the last market, there was another uptick there. We went from having only 3 or 4 bulls a week to this week we had nearly 25. So they're just starting to come out of the cows now, obviously with the mating winding up, and as that happens, we're obviously going to see a few more of them get culled straight out of the cows. But very strong sale in that last one with a few more numbers there. And as much as the bulls still made that $4 to $4.20 or 30 coming straight out of the cows, the bulls probably weren't quite as hard fat and probably lacked a little bit of yield compared to the previous week. So they're probably a little bit dearer just at the end. But into the cows were pretty similar right through as well. They're really good cows. They're anywhere $4.20 to $4.30 and a little bit $4.40 if you get some real nice yielding sort of cows. Then into the next run of cows, still good cows with a bit of weight. They're making $3.90 to sort of $4, $4.10. Your next run of cows under that, your 520 to through 600 kilo sort of cow. They've been pretty consistent too, 370 to 390, and then once we drop into the store sort of cows or cows with a lot less weight, they're sort of $3 to $3.50 or 60. The feeder steer job, very strong all month. It's not much change there either. The best of the black steers consistently making 550 to 570. I think we saw them top out at 580 for some really nice steers just in the middle of the month. If anything, it just feels like it's found a level, that job, and may even just maybe a fraction cheaper than what it was. Probably not quite the desperation to buy them, with a few more numbers coming forward just after the end of the financial year. A few more cattle have come on the market. The feeder heifer job is very similar to that. The best of them there, they were making up to $5.40s and 50s. They've just backed off a bit now, and $5.20 to $5.40 for a good feeder heifer, and a little bit less if you're in the sort of a coloured one or something, not right in the slot. Cattle, they are just, feeders just getting a little bit more selective. Just as I said, with a few more numbers coming on the market, they can be just a little bit more selective on what they're buying, and it's just taking that edge off it just a fraction, but still very solid prices through. Your little cattle, very hard to find this month. We could hardly find some little fellas really to quote on, but had some little black steers get into the $6 in the middle of the month. But if you had the right pen of them, they'd sell. There's plenty of orders there, so if you had the right little line of them, they'd make some good money. But just locally, everybody's got feed, and everybody's just waiting for a springtime, so they're pretty hard to find. Nobody really wants to part with them just at the moment. Your trade cattle, well, your butcher type calves, they've been solid. Obviously not many of them this time of year, so your little grain assisted calves, $5.20 to $5.70 or 80. Had a couple that topped out at $6 or a little bit more throughout the month as well, but they're pretty hard to find, and good demand for them. Your little, and then into your proper trade cattle, your sort of 450 through to 550 to 600 kilo. Pretty hard to find some grassies. Did see a few in the last couple of weeks here. Just a few out a little bit of warmer country, and just starting to see their coats change a little bit, just a little bit of hardness come about them. So they're not too far away, they're just around the corner, but we just need them to harden up a little bit, get a bit of sun on their backs. With those cattle there, they're at $4.70 to $4.80, very consistent, as I said, right through, but best of them might make out to $5 if they're something a little bit neat or got a bit more yield about them. But so yeah, as I said, very consistent right through. Cattle are just starting to show us a bit of signs there. We just had a couple of, like locally, we just had a week or 10 days of a bit finer weather. Just hardened a few up, as I said, just starting to just show that they might be getting there. So as the spring kicks on, I would expect our numbers to start to lift. Probably not quite yet. I think August will still be tough enough to find a few. I think it'll be more like in the middle of September before we start to see a few numbers, but I think there's plenty of feed around. Hopefully, fingers crossed, there'll be plenty of feed. The season's looking good through the Fleurieu here and through the Adelaide Hills and pretty much everywhere you go out through the Mallee. And it looks like we'll have a bit of tucker there, and the cattle should be able to get a fair bit of weight and have some pretty good results there. The job looks solid. I can't see too much change in price-wise for another month or so. But it is up there, so even if it does, if we get enough weight in the cattle and your cents per kilo come back a little bit, there's still going to be some good dollars involved for the cattle that we do turn off in the springtime. But plenty of demand out there from still the processors, feedlotters. So the demand's there. We're having a good season, so the job's looking pretty bright for the beef at the moment. So anyway, we'll get into a few more and I'll let you know how we go at the end of next month. Thanks a lot.